It's true that anyone can write a book. However, the process is not an easy one. As writers, we must put hours into planning our books, preparing tirelessly until the moment we can finally begin the writing process. One of the fundamental parts of planning is the creation of our characters. In this video, I will be sharing with you 4 of the most important tips and tricks that will help you create characters that are captivating enough to keep your readers wanting to know more. You've got your plot and you've got your target audience. Great! Now you've reached the character building stage. It isn't always easy coming up with characters. In fact, in some cases it can be the hardest part of planning your book. However, there are many ways that make this process easier, ranging from making rough notes about what you want your character to be like, to creating fully annotated diagrams that show exactly how you envision your character to look. Although there isn't any one way that writers must go about creating their characters, many writers swear by the method of creating character biographies, as they are very easily constructible, and allow them to add more detail into certain aspects of the characters. Typically, these documents contain information such as their characters' names, their characters' nicknames, their age and ethnicity, as well as the character in question's traits and aspirations. Similarly, many writers create interview documents in which they take their new characters and write interview-like scenarios, in which they ask the character questions. The main aim of these interviews is to answer the questions from the perspective of the characters. Many authors find this useful, as it allows them to not only get into the mindset of their characters, but also allows them to put more detail into their characters through the way they answer the questions. These documents don't always have to be extremely detailed. They can even be rough character plans too. But by creating these plans, the stages that follow become much easier. Referring back to your character biographies, it's important that, during the creation process, you give your character not only a present-day timeline, but a past and a present too. What does this mean? Well, in short, it means that your character needs to have a specific past experience that has contributed to the way they act and think in the present, as well as a general outline of future aspirations and goals. And why is this important? Well, as individuals, none of us are the same. We each go through different experiences that, although we don't always realize, help to build the person we become in the future. This is the same for your characters. Many writers choose to treat their OCs as though they are real people. And much like real people, your characters will have real emotions and reactions. Because of this, it's important that we provide the context behind what triggers specific emotions and the reactions they exhibit. Among all the stages of planning, when writing your book, establishing your character's relationship with other characters is by far the most important. After all, just like in real life, the people that your character is surrounded by will influence the way they act and speak. As I mentioned previously, personally getting into the mindset of your character and visualizing them as though they are a real person is one of the best ways to go about creating your characters, as it allows you to formulate more detailed ideas about how your character changes depending on those around them. Additionally, establishing your characters' relationships can be useful when it comes to pushing your plot forward. For example, in some cases, writers utilize secondary characters such as family, friends, and lovers in order to incite action and emotion from the protagonist. Without an established relationship between your characters, creating situations like this become harder to write, and sadly, sometimes it can become impossible. The final tip I will share with you is that as a writer, it is important to make sure that your characters are exciting and relatable. When reading your work, the readers want to be able to feel a connection to the character that you are presenting to them. Generally, by keeping the age of your characters close to the age range you intend on targeting your book towards, it is easier to create situations that your audience can relate to. For example, one easy way of doing this is to put them in situations that the people of that character's age would generally have to face on a day-to-day basis. All in all, although it can be time-consuming, and almost as frustrating as the writing itself, by having both planned your plot and your characters, when you're finally able to start writing, I can promise you that you'll be thanking yourself tremendously for planning ahead. As always, I hope that everything I have shared with you today will be helpful in some way, and I hope that you enjoyed watching. We would also love to hear from you, our audience, whether it be your personal experiences or even just feedback. So please feel free to leave a comment or contact us through our social media pages. Until next time, thank you for watching.